Tonight's episode was sponsored by Mad World. Check them out at www.itsworldmadness.com. Don't miss out. You can check out our Madness X Tavern hoodie, now available at itsworldmadness.com. So if you're looking to get a little merch, go check out our crossover. Tonight, we are sponsored by StreamYard, as always. Check him out. Puddles, our favorite little duck. Our producer / co-host, Landon. How are you, sir?
Hello. I think it's imagination. Yeah, I was doing it right the first time, I guess. I don't know.
Well, we can't always get it right the first time. All right. And our moderator, Sunza, how are you?
Hello. Hi, I'm good.
First time having you on the show where you actually speak to the audience.
I know, right?
They've seen you, they've talked to you in reality, and now they get to hear you.
Oh,
And
Lord.
our special guest tonight, Mr. Kermit. What's up, buddy?
Hello.
Yeah.
It wouldn't unmute. I was like, unmute. Come on, do it.
You have to maintain that the entire episode.
But come on.
You are now Kermit the Frog.
Kermit.
So I gotta bust it down Kermit style, huh?
I'm just glad he doesn't have a webcam because we'd be seeing little cucumbers all night.
Oh, Lord.
Kermit the Froggy.
I
want to take a moment and just say welcome to everybody over on Reality. Thanks to all our family that showed up tonight. I'm sure more of you will show up later on. Crimson Goddess, welcome. It's nice to have you here. Go ahead and drop a follow. Join our tavern family. Tonight, guys, we're going to be talking about the mysteries of the Moth Man. So I'm gonna open this up by giving just a little origin here. Landon has done a very great job of providing a nice little spreadsheet that he's taken the time to do all this background story information. I mean, I'm proud of him. He's got a full college style report on the Mothman that this man typed up and did research on. So y'all give it up for Landon. He is the brainchild of tonight's episode.
Yeah, I slaved for like 3 hours trying to write all this stuff down.
So what he's got for us, it's a legendary creature that has reportedly appeared in a small, relatively quiet community within the years of 1966 and 1967. What you should know about the Mothman, he is on average described as being part moth or part bird. He is a mythical creature, so to speak, a cryptid, typically with those like glowing red eyes. Some people say he doesn't have a head, 6-7 foot tall. So maybe that gives you a description, a kind of an idea of what to look for. Some people have said he's even got up to a 10-foot wingspan. So you can imagine how big this sucker is. My question for y'all is, so let's say you're driving down the road like the first people, to see him, and you see this Mothman, this 10-foot half moth, half bird humanoid. What's your first reaction? Kenneth, what's up?
Man, if I saw that, I'd be like, whoa, that's an interesting creature. Like, whoa.
I love the.
I'd be like slowing my car down and be like, man, I'm about to get my ass beat by a moth.
You were gonna say eat. Don't get my ass eaten by a moth. Stop it.
Man, I hope not, man. Like, I'll be getting picked up in the air, thrown around, like left, right, and center. It's like, oh God.
All right, son. So
what happened was
impression? You see the Mothman, driving in your car, and it lands on the ground in front of you or whatever. What's your first impression of this legendary creature?
Bro, knowing my origin story, I would go run after it. I'd be like, hey, yo, come back here. I just want an autograph. I would be like, I gotta find out.
That's big Scorpio vibes.
I was just thinking that.
Right.
So am I driving?
You're making it weird.
Am I driving my car by myself, like in the middle of the night, or
like in the middle of the night, you're driving down one of those lonesome roads, and all of a sudden, the Mothman's like, "Wah!" and Sunza's over here chasing him, and he's like, "Get away!"
So I'm gonna be driving, be jamming out some music, so probably gonna be doing some headbanging, Mothman go, what the hell is that? And then it lands in front of me, and I'm gonna say, you can't dodge it, ram it.
You hit it. Okay.
I mean, I'd be like, what the fuck is that? I don't know. Would I want to investigate? Yeah, but also I'd realize that I don't know these woods, so I wouldn't just run after it all willy nilly. I'd actually want to kind of take a look at the woods in the daytime and get my bearings straight before I start trying to investigate some weird moth bird man.
True. Want to take some time to say, hey, welcome, Caramel Lady. We're doing a podcast where we're going to be talking about the Mothman tonight. If you want to watch us live, you can come on over to our Facebook, our YouTube, our Twitch. YouTube links in the description up top there. We'd love to have you. Go ahead and drop a follow and join our tavern family. Thanks for stopping by tonight. Okay, so we'll go over a little bit of the first sighting. Apparently, it was reported on November 15th in 1966 in West Virginia, about 90 miles from Point Pleasant. There was like 5 guys, and they were digging a grave or some crap like that in a cemetery, and they claimed to see this fucking monstrous creature, half bird, half man, half moth, whatever you want to call it, glowing red eyes and no head. According to them, it says that the creature flew low over their heads and then disappeared into the nearby trees. So they were so frightened that they contacted authorities and was like, "Yo, what do you think we saw?" And apparently, over the next couple of days, these sightings kept happening.
But something you got to think about too, like, what if they're all good buddies and they are grave diggers that for the cemetery, right? Who's to say they didn't all take shrooms that night? And like they're like,
yeah,
"Yo,
man.
tell me you just saw that giant bird thing." And they're like, "Yeah, dude, I totally saw it. Holy crap, dude. Oh my god, it was a monster. It was a freaking dragon. It didn't have a head on. Oh, well, the one I saw had glowing red eyes. There was 2 of them. Oh my god."
My thing is, how can it have glowing red eyes but also not have a head?
So what if, like, it was kind of like bat style, so it had the flat top and it didn't look like it had a head, because maybe that back skin or whatever, like the flying squirrels or whatever, just I don't.
You look like a flying
moths
squirrel.
are like their heads are connected to their bodies, so it's like kind of hunched down.
Yeah, like what if it shrinks its neck up and just
Basically, it's a no.
Intimidating.
Yeah.
He's a bird, man. He's like a cod. Yo, what was if Mothman was secretly a prankster, man? He just flew over him and took a shit on him and like, see ya, woo!
What birds do?
Well, if he was a moth, I guess, but if it was a bat-like creature, it'd be guano.
My question is, so if the Mothman is real, and let's say he's part moth, why hasn't he left the woods and come to the city where all those lights are and just followed the lamp? Like, you would think we would have found him by now.
Well, you see, that's the thing too. From my understanding or whatever, he went through all this Point Pleasant stuff and hanging around this area, right? But also has traveled across a whole bunch of different places over time, which we'll find out more.
Like, if he's near a city, especially with the technology of today and how bright those lights can get, wouldn't he, just like any other moth drawn to the flame, find himself wandering into the city where people would see him, like a lot of people?
But maybe
somebody probably shoot him.
Since he's so big, though, maybe he's got like a giant intelligent brain.
Yeah, like a human. He's part man after all.
Yeah, it's not like a Bug's Life where he's like, "No, don't look at the light. I can't help it. It's so beautiful." Yeah.
It's kind of crazy though. Like, you'll be traveling, like, for example, you're just going on that late drive. You're just chilling. You're like, man, I just got me, some food from McDonald's. You look over to like the immediately right, and you see Mothman just stuck on a glass, just like, man, I really love this light. Fucking light.
Stuck on a lamp.
So,
hello.
Apparently, it emits high-pitched sounds or screeches.
Goodness.
I wasn't aware that it made noise. I thought it was like this quiet, like ghostly entity. I didn't realize it screeched and stuff.
I'm just saying, if you're walking in the woods in the middle of the night being a hoodlum and you heard some junk like that, like, I'm not sticking around. Pretty brave, but I'm like, oh man, that thing's probably gonna try and eat me or something. I'm out.
Bro,
It's
that's
like
when you
it
go and investigate.
For real.
says a white person, man. Like they'll be like, woohoo!
That's me.
I like to claim my
Shit.
Native American side
Yep.
on a lot of different things. So, you know,
Hey, welcome,
What's-
Jay. Thanks for stopping
what's
by.
good for the goose is not always good for the gander.
I
But,
got
like,
that
what do you-
Irish love, man. He might just look at me, high five me, and him go down the town, you know.
Oh no.
Right.
So a lot of the sightings were around the TNT area of West Virginia, which was like a former World War II munitions plant. So, what do you think that has to do with the Mothman?
Well,
Like,
if you backtrack a little bit, right, and go back to Point Pleasant,
yeah,
right, it's major, I don't know, what do you call them, thingamabobbers that it's known for is for its agriculture, its mines, and producing chemicals and stuff too,
yeah.
right?
Ah,
The TNT plant was it was created in World War II as a munitions factory, and after World War II, they used it to store munitions in the facility, right? And there was a big explosion around the same time that the first sightings of the Mothman happened. I think it was actually on the same night that this first sighting happened.
So, that being said, okay. So I was getting ready to jump in, and I think this is where you're heading with this, Landon. The topic of mass hysteria, how that is potentially what caused all these sightings. So Point Pleasant, West Virginia, where the sightings were first, I guess, where they first happened. How do I explain this? Okay, so let me get into your little thing that you gave me here. He's got a nice little list broke down for me. Several factors that can contribute to that would be unease, anxiety. The community around the time was dealing with the Cold War, so they're already paranoid. They're on edge. You've got all these tensions between the Soviet Union and the United States, so people are freaking out. You've got anti-war protesters hanging around,
As well as civil rights movement.
civil rights movements going on. You know, it's just a really tense time, especially in that area. And you've got all this pollution and environmental degradation that's going on from the chemicals and plastics being manufactured in that area. So, what's to say that there wasn't maybe a chemical spill around the time, or just the pollution that's coming off of these factories that they're breathing in daily isn't contributing to some kind of negative health benefit or health issues that's causing maybe hallucinations or just overall bad health that can you don't get enough sleep, you can see things, you know what I mean?
Yep. So that's what I was saying too, with that explosion or whatever, and the first sightings being at the same night. Who's to say there wasn't certain chemicals stored over there, and the smoke or whatever had all that, and the wind blew a certain direction, causing them to inhale these fumes
Yep.
and causing that kind of hysteria. And they're all seeing the same thing because, when you're really high and someone's like, "Yo, dude, I just saw this UFO over here." And holy crap, bro, do you see that? And they're like, yeah, man, I totally see that. Yeah, I mean,
man,
not
be zooted,
yeah. But with
So-
chemical spills and stuff getting into the water supply, you're talking about people are drinking from the tap at that time. Kids are drinking out of the water hoses back then. You know what I'm saying?
God forbid.
There's no such thing as let's get a bottle of water.
Exactly.
You drink it
drink
straight
that
from the
creek
tap.
water.
Right. So, I think that's yes, with all the different things going on with the Cold War, the anti-war campaigns, the civil rights campaigns going on, there was a lot of tension happening. And I do have to play the devil's advocate, as much as I want to believe in the Mothman, to say that it could for certain have been mass hysteria. The evidence is showing that.
See, now, another point that you have written here is that in addition to the explosion, there was also reports of strange odors. There was discolored water in nearby ponds and creeks, and that's what was directly supplied to those people's homes. Now, there could have been other incidents linked to pollution and chemical spills, but there's no concrete evidence to support it. But it's still, I mean, you can't rule that out. If you know that there are odors and discolored water right around the exact same time that people are seeing a creature that shouldn't exist, you can't rule that out, man. You just can't.
So let's also take another way too, right? Let's say it was both. Let's say that there was this creature that happened, to be here, and let's say that the water was also polluted, and with a mixture, it was kind of like I can't really believe you, but I can't discredit you because this information that you're giving me is like suspiciously accurate, and there is a lot of different people giving the same definitions.
That's
with
weird.
You both not knowing each other.
Exactly. That's the weird part, because there was a lot of people that saw this, and then you had people just flocking to the area after hearing about it to try to catch a glimpse of it, and then other people saying they've seen it, which could just be people being like, "Oh yeah, I went there and I saw the Mothman."
Yeah, Sunza.
That sounds like some shit.
What? No, I would get evidence before I even said that. I'd be like, "Look at this,
bro." I saw Mothman. That thing was huge.
Exactly, and then there'd be like a picture of like a lunar moth or something.
I don't know how that moth could get off the ground.
Yep. Cock on that thing.
God damn, man. That's what they were really seeing that night, man. They were just seeing Mothman's fucking cock, just like, real.
That's why they didn't think it had a head. They were too busy focusing between its legs.
Yeah.
Never even looked up.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not a typical head that they're seeing on a Mothman.
Bro, I saw this Mothman. It was like 8 foot tall, you know what I mean? And it had one glowing red eye.
It was a glowing red eye.
And a fucking glowing red eye. God damn, dude.
I can't. Okay, so I'm going to read you off one of the encounters, and y'all give me some thoughts on this. November 16th. 1966. 2 young couples, Roger and Linda Scarberry. What a cool last name, Scarberry.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Bro. They don't make them like that no more.
They don't.
They do coke?
Stephen Mary Malliette. I'm probably butchering that name. They're driving near the TNT plant in Point Pleasant. They spot this large creature, it's one glowing red eye near an old generator plant. So that's interesting that's where it was at. So you're near
the generator plant, okay, it's probably got a lot of lights around it.
And it's warm.
And you're right, it is warm. I didn't think about that.
It makes a lot of noise.
Yep. The creature is described as being about 7 foot tall, 10-foot wingspan. Group reports the creature chased their car as they drove away, flying just above the treetops. Creature reaches the edge of town and it disappears. Group later goes to the police station and reports their sighting. Now, this seems to be a trend with all of them, that they're chased by this thing. Like, it follows the car. Do you think it's chasing the headlights or the taillights? It just likes... What do you think?
Hold on a second, right? We need to, play this out a little bit, okay? Y'all be the people, the teenagers or the couples that were seeing this, and I will be the sheriff's department.
Okay.
Okay. Mothman's chasing your car, all right, and scene.
Okay. Dude, officer, there was this big fuzzy red thing that had these eyes, and it was just and it was
man, he had several red eyes, man.
Yeah,
oh my
God, it was so freaky, dude, officer, you gotta believe me, man. We don't got no evidence, but
man, he was doing the Olympic run at me, he was you ever seen an Olympian run at you full force? Man, he was doing that shit. I mean, it was terrifying, man.
Bro, it said private property, but us angsty teens, so we gotta, yeah, us, yeah.
Okay, kids, I'm just gonna need you to lay off of shooting up the marijuanas.
Officer, we don't do marijuana.
Clearly,
what's that
right now? You see what I'm...
So
in scene. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting that you would say that, because we're talking about 1966. What was the
Yeah,
drug scene like in
well,
1966?
everybody was blazing up a storm.
Exactly.
That's how clouds were made back then.
Damn.
Hippie era.
Also, I'm
Yeah.
just
Indeed.
curious. Do you think that teenagers talked that way in 1966? Because
Dude,
you reminded
man,
me of
like,
California.
oh.
Probably not.
Hey
I mean,
man,
You gotta far fetch it somehow, you know.
so officer, look man, here's what I
Officer.
saw.
it probably.
It
While they're
probably,
talking to this,
yeah.
It
It's a
was
giant
talking to this,
Mothlight man, and like, really, dude, it was two that like came and hit us with a car, but then it totally set above the tree line. I was like, whoa.
while they're
exactly.
talking to the sheriff, man, like these kids like have like 3 joints in their nose, and they're like they got like 3 of them in their ears, and they're like, "Officer, you gotta believe me, man! I
Like
swear."
bloodshot.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Honestly, I think it's very stereotyping because I think like people were talking like that back in the late 70s, right?
Yeah.
Early 70s.
Yeah.
But
Well,
anyway, I don't know. What could have happened happened. I wasn't there. I don't know how people talk back then.
Bro, each
Really?
generation has their own language, so
You
it's
really do.
No cap.
exactly.
Yeah,
Oh
no
god.
Gang, gang, son.
Oh hell, man.
Boy, shoot.
Bussin', bussin'.
Crib and
Oh
give
my
me some
god,
trim.
That Mothman be busting, no crap.
bro, he got riz.
Fucking light skin stare.
You're getting funky, fricka fresh.
exactly.
All right. Next sighting. This is November 24th, 1966. So only a few days later, from the 16th to the 24th. But this is in This is from a guy named Newell Partridge, a contractor from Salem, West Virginia. So now we've moved from Point Pleasant to Salem.
Ooh.
He was at
Spooky.
home. His dog began barking uncontrollably. He went outside to investigate, and he saw the strange creature with its red glowing eye in a nearby field. The creature was described as being about 6 foot tall, wingspan of about 10 foot. So same description as the previous one. He later reported that his television and his phone stopped working at the same time, and he believed the creature to be responsible.
So creating electromagnetic kind of induction or something?
The report that you give me here doesn't necessarily explain, so I don't know if he thinks that maybe the creature took down some power lines or something that would cause the phone lines down or something, or if he felt that it was an electromagnetic response that caused his equipment to quit working. It doesn't specify.
I mean, he wasn't an electrician, so he wouldn't know.
Oh yeah, because you know so much.
I don't. I have no idea anything that I'm doing. I'm like, this
You
might
heard that?
work.
He doesn't know anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, naturally everybody assumes I don't know anything anyway, so I might as well live the life.
The ignorance is
It's a
bliss.
movie.
So, what do y'all think? Do you think that it could give off electromagnetic pulses? Is that something that you've ever heard of when it comes to the Mothman?
Could be possible. I mean, I don't really know much about Mothman. Like, I know just a little bit, just a smidge. Like, I know it was in West Virginia, but I think he could do it. I think I have my own little theory about the Mothman. I think he's just like how you guys were talking about the chemical spill.
Yes.
I think, yeah. I think it's just like people are seeing this thing. It's like, whoa. It's like, is it real or is it not? Like, it could be a mutated moth. It could be, but I think it has some type of supernatural stuff.
Do you think it could have potentially been a creature that was mutated by some radioactive? We talked about those discolored water and power plants and waste, and you think it could have been Ninja Turtle style that a moth got radioactive, and then it was like
Radioactive.
I believe so. Like, honestly, because it just. Oh, go ahead.
So I like to change around the the idea here, right? So, what if the Mothman is not a creature and it's not mass hysteria, but I mean, I guess an alien would be considered a creature of sorts, I suppose, but aliens. We know we know aliens
Aliens.
Your hair just
cause
stood on end.
yeah,
green
like
man.
it's aliens. What are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna take her cows, man.
But why would they
Magically
make?
disappears.
Yeah, like why would they make a presence though? Because they haven't yet, technically, quote unquote.
Okay, I'm glad you asked that question, Sunza.
No.
They did that to test the populace.
Maybe.
Some aliens sitting up there smoking the gun, just like, hey, yeah, bro. These people, man. Watch this.
Probably.
Fucking idiots. They think I'm a moth, man. Dumb bastards.
Look at that hologram. Oh yeah.
Guys, they think I got red eyes. It's just part of my suit. They're fucking idiots, man. Like, let's keep fucking with them.
We're just like the way you know that the cameras are on, you know?
Yeah.
I want to take a minute and just thank everybody on reality who's watching us over there. Leela, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Go ahead and drop us a follow and join our tavern family. We'd love to have you. If you want to watch the podcast, live and see everything that's going on, I've got the YouTube link up in the top. Come join us on YouTube and check it out. So let's move on to the next sighting here. This is December 15th, still in 1966. So it's like only every 15 days or so we're seeing this happen. It's weird that it's roughly the same time increment between each sighting.
It's really like it's.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's really suspicious that these sightings are taking just a few days later.
Yeah,
it's just like
15 days. Roughly between.
Yeah, but if I'm not mistaken, right? Like this, this TNT plant exploded, right? And then, with our theory that it could have chemicals in it and that caused pollution into the water, is causing a what do you call it? A fumigation around the town and surrounding areas of the town. That's why it would all happen around the same time. With rumors, right? Rumors spread at an exponential rate. Right, so who's to say that somebody from Point Pleasant heard about this Mothman, was talking about it to his friends, was like, "Yo, let's grab our shotguns, go blow that thing out of the sky," and it's just, it just spread. It's like, oh, now I'm hallucinating. Oh my God, my dog is high and he's seeing some winged beast thing.
Hello, yes.
Even my dog is smoking, man.
Can I get?
I don't know what he got.
Doing?
One more time for us, Brandon.
I said hello. Yeah, I think my dog got into some meth. Can I give it Narcan?
Yeah.
Oh my God, no.
Maybe not a human dosage.
How did you get Narcan? All right, so December 15th, Roger Scarberry and Steve Mallett, the two other friends, were driving near that TNT plant that you were talking about, Landon. Yeah. And they saw the Mothman again. So this is the second time these same people have seen it.
And they've been driving back and forth between the TNT plant.
Exactly. But it's funny because their first sighting was November 16th and their second sighting was December 15th. So almost exactly 1 month later.
Okay, and tell me they didn't have the windows down.
When they this time the creature was standing on the hillside and began to move towards the cars as the group drove by. Scarberry later reported that he saw the creature's glowing eyes in his rearview mirror as they drove away.
Well, yeah, the lights on the car shining, moth to a flame. I'm just saying.
His glowing red eyes, doesn't that sound a lot like taillights?
I mean, that's true too.
Couldn't that be another car just leaving, or someone parked somewhere? I mean,
back then, did they have reverse lights?
Oh God, Landon.
You got me questioning my life now. I gotta call my grandparents tomorrow.
It's 1966. We're not talking about a Model T.
Well, yeah, but my grandparents were grown back then. My mom and dad were getting high back then. You know what I'm saying?
Oh god. Okay.
Well, I guess not back then because they'd both been children, but who knows? Who knows?
So, okay, next one is January 11th, 1967. So we're finally moving into the new year, but again, it's this is a little bit longer than the other two, but still not that far of a stretch between sightings. Um, Marcelia Bennett was driving with her brother to her brother's house in Salem, West Virginia. So we're back to Salem now. When she saw a large creature, glowing red eyes, near the Mason County Wildlife Museum. That's an interesting place.
It is an interesting place.
The creature is described as being about 6 foot tall, wingspan and about 10 feet, same as every other description. Claimed that the creature chased her car just like every other one. Even lifted it off the ground at one point, but she was able to speed away.
I mean, what if she just like hit a pothole back then? Because they're not filling those in.
Could be.
That's
anything.
true.
My thing was like, how was it a front wheel drive car, a rear wheel drive car, and
I don't
where
think
was
they
it?
had front wheel back then, did they?
I'm just thinking like from a mechanic's standpoint, like how you build traction and pull from something. Which way was it lifting it off the ground that you were able to pull your car away from it? Because if all four wheels are off the ground, you're not pulling yourself anywhere away from it. And depending on if it's front wheel or rear wheel, and it's lifting from the back end of your car, or
Oh yeah.
chasing
Okay,
you.
I see what you're saying now.
Yeah, it's like if it's chasing you, and it lifts up the rear end of your car, and you need to be front wheel drive to pull away from it. So now I'm just confused by that story.
Unless you're leaving that thing with a skid mark.
Apparently, but you
But
didn't
like-
have to be touching the wheels to get a skid mark. So I don't know. Physics.
Well, that's probably how she broke free. Huh?
You're defying the laws of physics, sure.
But who's to say that all of these stories and reports, for the sightings or whatever, are 100% legitimate?
Exactly.
Because, at this time, the Mothman had been sighted at the end of 66, right? You're going into 67. There's already been a whole bunch of different reported sightings. Now you want to have your 15 minutes of fame,
I'm thinking
and
that's what the story was.
Honestly. Sunsa
Yes.
was clearly not paying attention.
I'm sorry. I just love moths.
I'm looking for my light bulb.
She's currently looking for her romantic moth partner.
What?
Man.
She's standing in the window right now with a pair of binoculars trying
I'm
to
always
find him,
out there looking
Dressed-
for him. One
Dressed
day.
as a moth woman. She's dressed as a moth woman with a flashlight, just doing this
What?
from the window. Yeah.
Little antenna.
Sees a moth, and
I
she's
just-
like, "Ooh, no, you want it." If you don't know that reference, you need to watch the WKUK.
Yep, WKUK. You'll love it. All right, next one. January 26th. Two businessmen driving near the Ohio River. Interesting, this is near water, because that's another one of our things we talked about. Okay, and the Ohio
Point-
River, I'm
Point
sure it had to
Pleasant,
be
I think is
contaminated.
also off of the river.
Huh?
I want to say Point Pleasant is also off of the Ohio River.
I'm not sure. When they spotted a large creature, glowing red eyes, standing on the road, creature described again about as being 6 foot tall, 10 foot wingspan. The men claimed that the creature followed their car for several miles before disappearing. So why is it this thing just follows cars but never does anything? You know what I mean?
See, that just goes back to the last story with, I think now we're at that point where everybody is looking to get 15 minutes of fame.
It's possible.
I mean, I don't think that you're going to have these fumes or whatever. I mean, I guess if you had like, I don't know, natural gas happening, but got some weird kind of chemical coming out of the natural gas, and it's causing this like whole thing going on constantly. Doubt it's happening, but I don't know.
Okay, so here's one that might throw a little wrench in that idea, Landon. Okay, this is the last sighting here, December 15th, 1967. So this is a full year later. Okay, so we're skipping over any other sightings. It's a full year later. the collapse of the Silver Star Bridge. Okay, that's
Yes.
a suspension bridge connected Point Pleasant and West Virginia to Ohio. During rush hour traffic, sending cars and trucks plummeting into the icy waters below, the disaster claimed the lives of 46 people. That is a very bad disaster. Had a lasting impact on the community. The collapse was caused by the failure of a single eye bar in one of the suspension chains, likely due to the combination factors including age of the bridge, heavy traffic, harsh weather conditions. But some people claim to have seen the creature perched on the bridge just before the collapse, leading to speculation that the Mothman may have somehow been involved with the tragedy. So now you have a full collapse going on here, man, where people are dying, a bridge going down, and more than one person in the area is claiming to have seen Mothman on top of this bridge.
And that's also the most well-known sighting of the Mothman. This is what they wrote books on, movies on, all sorts of stuff, because it's the biggest event that happened that terrorized the community for a very long time. But I don't know if the Mothman is real, right? What have we defend? What trying to speak here?
Nope.
Do we know that the Mothman is a domestic terrorist? Okay, or is this Mothman
a domestic violence survivor? Maybe we've just been putting too much blame on the Mothman. Maybe we've been hurting him.
Maybe the Mothman is a victim of misogynistic abuse. I don't know.
It could be. I'm just thinking the Mothman, maybe he was there trying to save the people on the bridge. Maybe that's why he follows these cars.
That's what I was trying to get at, but the words just weren't trying to, come out of my mouth. I don't know.
Poor Mothman. He's just been the bad guy this whole time, and he's really not. He's a good guy.
He's watching over the cars to make sure they get home safely.
Exactly.
He's a vigilante.
No one asked, how is Mothman? Exactly. They just asked, what is the Mothman?
Exactly.
Never, how is the Mothman?
Yes.
Sheds a single tear looking at his lamp.
Yeah, but so all the stories that we heard so far, right? And all the different ones that I sat down and researched myself, there was never a report of the Mothman hurting anybody.
Exactly.
Just things happened, and the Mothman was at the right place at the wrong time.
Yes.
Have you noticed like almost all these incidents involve cars? He's just a mechanic, man. He's just looking out for your car. He's like, man, you really need a tune-up. Hold on, don't run away from me, please.
That engine's knocking. Let me get in a little closer to see about it.
I swear
I may have about 30 hours.
And he's trying to make the sound of your belt to let you know it's the timing belt or whatever. You're like, oh my God, it's a giant flying moth bird.
But by the time you ride off into the distance, he's like, I was just trying to help.
He's just, I've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
Oh my God. Okay, so apparently he was sighted outside of that local area as well. In 2011 in Russia. Ooh. Right? I did not know that out in Russia, people in Moscow reported seeing the same creature.
Very surprised.
Creature was around 2 meters tall, wingspan of about 4 to 5 meters. Claimed that the creature appeared to be looking directly at him before flying off. That's from Russia. You got Chicago in 2017.
Did you say when that was in Russia?
2011.
Yeah, I mean, he could have been rocking some hydroponics, man. He might have found a Quaalude 420 or something, and popped that right on in his mouth drinking with his vodka. You know what I'm saying? Have you never seen The Wolf on Wall Street? I mean, that guy thought he made it home safely. He goes outside and his car is all wrecked up and stuff. That man had a good time.
it just baffles me that we're still having these sightings because you've got 2017 Chicago, 2018 Argentina, 2020 Mexico. So just this is most recent here. A couple in Monterrey, Mexico, claimed to have seen the Mothman while out for a walk. Creature described it as being 2 meters tall, large wingspan, glowing red eyes. A couple reported a sense of fear and unease during the encounter, and claimed that the creature seemed to be watching them before it disappeared from sight.
So for anybody who doesn't know, a meter is about 3 feet.
Yeah.
So that coincides with the height that they say is 6 to 7 feet tall, 10-foot wingspan.
All these sightings are pretty consistent when you think about it.
Right.
Especially from West Virginia to Mexico to Argentina. I mean, that's a big distance.
And Mothman's getting around, man. Like, damn.
I mean, people are just getting, fangirling over the Mothman.
I just picture him riding around and hover around. He's like,
excuse me.
I had a cough over it.
That was a pretty funny cough.
Yeah, it was. Hold on. Fangirl.
Bro, I just love the moths. They get me like,
Yummy Mothman.
Do they get you, or do you get them?
I get them. I go out every night and
yeah. Never asking how the Mothman is, only wanting his attention.
Exactly.
Secretly, the Mothman is in her basement right now, being held captive.
Bro, I only let him out every once in a while, okay?
So moth milk, are you?
You're allowed to come back around 2 a.m. in the morning now, mister. If you don't get your ass back in my home, I swear I will leave my car running, and I swear I'll get you like last time.
I want to pose a theory here.
Okay.
Right? So 2011, we got Russia, 2017, Chicago, 2018, Argentina, and 2020 in Mexico, right?
Okay, yep.
What if the Mothman was working for the government and they put him into witness protection?
He had to testify against the court. He was.
Please elaborate, sir. Please elaborate.
Oh, thank you for letting me go down this rabbit hole, Brandon. I've been wanting to do this since I wrote the paper. So, here's my theory, right?
He's got to rub his head. He's got to think about it.
Yeah, get some
Rub
good
the
luck
bald head
going
for
on.
good luck.
Yeah, I had to. Actually, I'm just scratching my head, so I guess I'm just being dumb. But
That's your forehead, sir.
Yes, we all understand this.
Yeah.
Anyway,
long forehead.
Back to my original topic here. So think about it, right? Like, what if, the Mothman is getting all of this fame, right? Everybody wants a piece of the Mothman. Let me catch the sighting. Let me make it my boyfriend. It's just all this popularity around it. It's like, man, fuck this shit. It just been testified, about the local mafia to the federal government. The federal government's like, yo, you got some gnarly shit going on here. We're going to put you in WITSEC. And they're like, yeah, we're going to take you to Russia. And the Mothman's like, bet. So they go to Russia, and, he's just so secluded and cooped up, and he can't stay in the cocoon any longer. So he busts free. And now a man saw him in Russia. They're like, oh, well, you screwed the pooch because no one's supposed to know who you are. And so they moved him back to Chicago, where he'd never been at before. And then he's like, well, same problem. And then it's like, all right, we're going to put you all the way into the jungle, like Argentina. Let's go. And it's like, well, I liked Argentina. It was pretty warm there. But the lights, they was just so pretty. I had to go look at it. And then that happened. Mama said alligators
showed me her boobies, and I like them too.
Alligators so ornery because they got all them teeth, no toothbrush. But then they're like, all right, well, who's not going to care that the Mothman is running around flying? Because we've already sent him out all these different places, and he can't keep his dang wings shut. So they're like, let's send him to Mexico. If he gets out of hand, the cartels will take care of him.
Of course.
And that's the last we've ever seen of the Mothman. That's the most recent sighting that I found.
Yeah,
was
that's
in Mexico of 2020.
little cartel woman over here that's stealing Mothman.
Stealing
That's her deep dark
Mothman.
secret. She's part of the cartel.
They set the
Wow.
Mothman up, man. Like
He
that's,
didn't
that's
say
not-
Mothman. He said Mothman.
Men.
That's a problem.
Yeah, Sunset
Mothman.
has to have a daily glass of moth milk. Okay, so
I gotta
there's a
create
lot of
more,
things in that basement.
more moth. That's horrible.
I've got a little
How else is she
theory.
gonna eat her honey nut Cheerios? Moth
I
milk.
just got a small little theory about the Mothman now. We've been talking about it for a bit. Yeah, what happens if Mothman had children? He was like, hey, my boy, go over to Russia, go there, shoo. What happens if the original Mothman's dead and this is just his children?
And what is the lifespan of the Mothman?
Exactly.
I don't know.
And does the
All right,
Mothman, have just boys? I mean, does he do it by himself? Is there a moth woman?
Self-replicating.
The world may never know.
It's like
Ask Mr.
Jurassic
Owl.
Park, man. They do move in herds.
Dinosaur DNA. Okay, that's a pretty good impression of that little DNA strand.
The dinosaurs.
Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. We're way over our 30-minute mark. This has been an awesome conversation. You guys have been very fun. We're gonna open it up first to you, Kermit. What is your closing statement for our audience tonight?
Always think about the Mothman, his lives matter too.
I agree. Very, very good.
Mothmen's lives matter.
Exactly.
Sunza, what's your closing statement for our audience tonight?
Always look for the Mothman. Always go running head first to find him.
Powerful, powerful words. Landon?
So, my final thoughts on the Mothman are: is it real, or is it a fallacy? A hoax made up by individuals. Were everybody getting high off of toxic fumes, or were people just making shit up because they wanted, a piece of the fame on the news or something? I don't know. I wasn't there, but if you were there, I would like to hear from you.
Yeah. On the show, I want to talk about it. I want to hear it.
For real. Like I will get so into depth in the questioning, like you'll think you've been interrogated by the, CIA or something. I don't know. No waterboarding though. I don't do that.
Yeah.
Yet.
All right, guys. So for me, is this the real world, or is this just fantasy?
Oh,
I think we're just
no.
caught in a landslide. No escape from reality.
Easy come, easy go.
But no, I don't know. I'm not here to say personally. I think it's probably mass hysteria. Probably a lot of stuff going on. The government was doing some weird shit. There was pollution. There was nasty water. I think people were stressed. So personally, don't think he's real. Could he be? Absolutely. I'm not that close-minded. But thank you guys. I really appreciate you, Kermit, for being our special guest tonight. And Sunza, thank you so much for sharing your voice with the world tonight and letting them get to know you a little better. Everyone out there listening, thank you for making this episode possible. Thank you for being a part of our tavern family, our reality family. You guys are great. Thank you for always showing up, showing us all that love and support. And guys,
I just want to say one last thing. It's kind of weird not having my closing question at the end of this.
Yeah, it was weird. I think this is the first time that we've done a podcast in a long time that we didn't have a closing statement. So you know what? We're going to give you that moment. Landon, what is one question that you wish we would have asked on tonight's podcast, and how would you have answered it?
Oh, you son of a nutsack. Well, I'm no Mothman expert, but where were the news reports for these? How I could answer that is I don't know. I guess it's just open ended. You'll have to do your own research and find out, because it's all left up into interpretation.
Absolutely. All right, guys. We love you as always. Love you, mean it. And thanks for stopping by. the tavern.